Very orthodox, of course, everyone right-handed here.
Van Garderen then gets the first semi-finals underway. And they go to Andre Loyola-Stein, and it is Brazil that get the opening point of the first match on this last day.
So much size on the court today that it's going to be important to win the ball control matchup. Of course, we're going to see a lot of blocks, but who can control the ball? Who can limit the unforced errors when you're dealing with players of this size?
Well, Van Garderen, you feel, is going to get an awful lot of ball today as they look to exploit him, and he comes up with an error. You can see the rain falling, and just lightning, isn't it, really, that stops the beach volleyball?
Yeah, it won't be stopped because of rain unless it was some sort of torrential downpour or wind. Usually it's all about the danger. If the player is in any danger, and that would be lightning, you'd have to think stop. Look at that control right there by Loyola-Stein.
And he's done it again. 2 blocks that he then follows up on, and Evandro piles through the ball to make it 3-0.
The weather and the conditions, as we were just talking about, have really been up and down this week. The majority extremely hot. As we take a look at Loyola-Stein, not only blocking, but then coming down and covering, setting his partner Evandro, and he rips that cross court at the young Van Garderen.
Was Varenhorst just asking for a double touch there on that block for 4 touches? Off one arm onto the other?
Yeah, he might have been. When you're blocking, though, you can touch the ball multiple times as long as it's in the same motion. But doesn't hurt to ask, right? Because you might get the call down the line. Remember yesterday, a big issue with foot faulting. Evandro loves to get very close. The sand hitting the line is not a fault, but his foot, if it's ruled to touch that back tape, it'll be called an infraction.
Van Garderen needs the roll over the block. Now, can he finish? No, well, it's off the touch. So it goes the Netherlands' way.
Martin Van Garderen, 27 years of age. He's an outside hitter, plays professional volleyball in Italy, has played for the national team in the Netherlands, and was picked up not long ago by Christian Varenhorst looking for a new partner. And wow, has Van Garderen stepped up to the occasion.
Off the block, and they've leveled it up. And that's a great response early on from the Netherlands, having gone 3-0 down. To level it up shows that mentally they're there.
Early on, you really want to test one another and see what kind of opponent you have on that certain day. So very equal to start it off. All 4 players definitely ready to go on the opening whistle.
And that one touched as well.
Martin Van Garderen and Christian Varenhorst just playing in their 4th FIVB beach volleyball tournament in their 1st season together.
Yeah, that's the warm-up court, and you can see Alexander Horst there running, and his Doppler behind him on his hands and knees, doing their stretching exercise.
Really very important day for Clemens Doppler and his partner Alexander Horst, as it is for all of these athletes, but they have never won. They are playing in Vienna. This may be the last opportunity for Clemens Doppler and Alexander Horst to win a major event like the Olympics, like the World Championships, an event on that level. They're 36 and 35 respectively, and with this crowd behind them, wow, wouldn't it be sweet to see them make it to the top of the podium.
It would go absolutely crazy if it did, but there's still a very important match to be decided before we get to them. But it's been great for the tournament, the Austrians going deep. It's been really well supported anyhow, but just having the Austrians in action on the final day. There were 30,000 people here yesterday on the site. They had to close it for obvious reasons. The Red Bull Arena takes 10,000. It was incredible, really. And it's, what, 10 past 10 on a Sunday morning, and already it's almost sold out. And there's a big block.
And that is his signature, up at the net, blocking balls. That's what Christian Varenhorst, the 6'11", 212 centimeters player from the Netherlands, is so great at. Locked out shoulders, locked out elbows, beautiful blocking technique.
And Andre finds the kill down the line.
The rain starting to come down even harder. Players, they had been warned, they were expecting a possible switch in the weather. It's important that all the staff keep that ball dry, because when it starts to rain, it's kind of a slower track, we call it. Things slow down a bit, and Evandro swatting that ball to the back, but the ball gets a little more moisture on it. It's harder to rip your jump serve, and you have to be very careful. Here, Evandro going up to the penthouse floor and swatting that ball to the back of the court. Pretty awesome right there.
So a little bit of daylight for the second time for the Brazilians.
That time, Van Garderen using the block, we call that, or tooling the block out of bounds. We really want to focus on targeting back into the court that time. The outside hitter from indoor volleyball knows exactly how to deal with a big giant block in his face.
So Van Garderen at 6-7. Now can he level it up? Gets cute, and he can.
Just a really smart shot. You got to understand, Andre Loyola Stein and Evandro, both really tall players. Their expertise is up at the net, not defensive specialists. So Van Garderen right there, exploiting that weakness. A nice little finesse shot short, and Evandro can't get that 6'11" frame down to the sand quick enough.
Off the block. That's the second time that the Dutch have come back from a little bit of daylight to level things up.
Just really back and forth right now. No one's really struck a run or a streak. Best server 2015 and 2016, Evandro. You don't want him to catch fire if you're on the other net. Ooh, a carry or a lift, saying that that ball was pushed, open hand.
At the same time. Yes? Why? Because you guys know it's at the same time.
So if the players hit at the same time, which it doesn't happen, you see it get pushed about 3 inches into the block. If the blocker and the offensive player touch the ball, which we call simultaneous contact, then it's okay to have the open hand. But you can't grab the ball with an open hand and push it forward. You can do that in indoor volleyball, but not on the beach, and it is not a challengeable call.
And it's a great call from the first referee.
Absolutely, he is on point right there.
It is absolutely tipping down here now, isn't it? The rain falling very hard.
When conditions get like this, like I said, things slow down, and it'll be interesting how it really affects the game and the serve. Look at it coming down right there. It's got to affect Evandro's serve because he's about a speed guy, and when you have the wet conditions, it makes it a lot more difficult to be precise and create that velocity with the ball weighing a little more.
You couldn't believe it was 100 degrees yesterday, or mid-90s, just long.
Also something to watch with these conditions and the rain coming down is overhand setting. It becomes very particular with the ball having so much moisture on it. If that ball slips through your hands, you'll be in motion for a double contact. So it's a lot riskier to overhand set. Evandro with his new partner, Loyola Stein. Evandro last year in Rio de Janeiro, taking 9th place in the Olympic Games with his former partner, Pedro Solberg. Decided to go separate ways. So many great players in Brazil to choose from. They have that luxury.
Cross court, not touched, and it's out. So final point before the technical timeout. Brazil will go into that technical timeout in front, but will it be by 1 or 3? Here's a chance for Brazil to make it 3. Evandro goes up, good work from Van Garderen, but he can't do it a second time, and it is a 3-point lead for Brazil as they head to the chairs. It's the second time in the match they've led by 3. Good initial dig by Van Garderen, but his touch was too heavy, and Evandro just pounced to put it into unguarded sand.
You look to Van Garderen and you think, wow, only 3 months playing on the beach. You can see we're getting no sun here today on center court. Just an incredible shot from Millennium Tower. And players, it's going to be a big challenge today.
Yeah, let's drop down into the virtual Red Bull Arena for some Brazil service placement stats. I'm not sure there's going to be a surprise here.
There you see it, Van Garderen, the less experience of the two players, getting the majority of the serves in the middle and to the left. Nothing going over to Christian Varenhorst, as we mentioned, second place in the last World Championships.
There's the warm-up court, Clemens Doppler.
Clemens Doppler, 20 years playing beach volleyball. He's been through so much, so many knee surgeries, different injuries, and he is putting together possibly a masterpiece this weekend in a huge, probably the biggest event of his life.
So the float serve from Andre goes to Van Garderen. Oh, good work from Andre, unlucky. But that's a cute shot from Van Garderen.
Van Garderen, got a chance to speak to him yesterday, and he was smiling from ear to ear. Cannot believe that he could make it all the way into the Final Four. Just incredible, the lowest seed in the history of the tournament to make it to the semifinals. Just a dream come true, he was telling me. He just could not believe that it happened so quickly. Now he'd love to finish it off and become a world champion. Wouldn't that be something special?
Wouldn't it just? The previous low, by the way, was 43. That was the German pair Polter and Schoen, who made the Final Four in Berlin in 2005. And they weren't a wild card, they were a late replacement pair. The Dutch here under a little bit of pressure as we edge towards the business end of set 1. Needed that one.
Remember, both these teams, they played one another in the first match of this World Championships. We're in day 10 of 10, the final day. And in that first meeting, it was Brazil victorious, 15-7 in the third set, so it was a battle. Not sure what the referee called the captains over and was discussing. Could possibly be about the conditions and whether they continue to play on.
Oh, good blocking. Is it getting near to that, do you think, in your experience?
You know, it's hard to tell, but visually, I've played through many a times conditions like this. I don't think that they will halt it. Remember, there's a lot on the line, TV schedules you got to stick to, and it's not a sport where you're in danger because of the rain. It makes it challenging, a little difficult, but that's what the sport of beach volleyball is all about, dealing with the elements. And it's pretty interesting we've had such a drastic swing. Like you said, at one time, earlier in the week, we were 60+ Celsius down on the sand, and now things have drastically cooled off and gotten a lot wetter as well.
Well, the beach volleyball weather gods have been wooing Martin van Garderen for 9 days, and now he's thinking, oh, it's not all it's cracked up to be in the pouring rain. Doesn't get this indoors. Van Garderen goes big. That is some touch from Stein, but it's back over to the Dutch, and rolling it off the net goes Andre. And Evandro can't get there.
Well, it's interesting. You say it has been optimal for Van Garderen to this point. He may be favored in weather like this because he's a ball control guy. He's an outside hitter, and he's the shortest player out on the court right now, and he has a lot of touch to his game, and that can really help you out in these types of conditions.
14-13, Brazil lead. And Andre responds with a little bit of finesse of his own.
Evandro really has performed well in this tournament. In 2013, he took a 5th. In 2015, Evandro with Pedro Solberg took a 3rd place. So he knows how to compete in these medal rounds, and that experience may possibly get the 2015 and 16 best server in the world a world title.
The block. They're changing it around, aren't they, the Brazilians, in terms of the blocking? They're interchanging.
Yeah, and it's good to note that 2 players that size, remember 6'11" Evandro, 6'7" for Loyola Stein, switch blocking. There's really not a definitive defender. They're both strong at the net offensively as blockers, and so a lot of people have questioned whether that pairing will work. Will the chemistry be there? And obviously this weekend it is, and they have been successful so far. I think this could be huge if they could win here and continue on, win a world championship. Wow, it would be something special. It just shows you how tall the players are getting.
Varenhorst with the set. Andre with the pick. Now, can he finish off? Yes, he can. He's having a good game. Is the youngster. 17-14. Brazil lead.
If you went back 10, 15 years, it would be unheard of to have a 6'7", 6'8" player playing in the backcourt. They would just split up and play with shorter players. Not the case as the game of beach volleyball has evolved.
And Garderen again receiving serve, goes cross-court through the block of Evandro. Well, it's a turnaround from the opening match on this centre court when these two played. The Dutch led 19-14 in that first set, but Brazil got it back to 19-18, and the Netherlands required 3 set points from 19-14 to win that first set, so they need to reverse that here. The Dutch, they need to come up with one of those runs to put some pressure back on Brazil. Evandro being quiet in this one in terms of aces. No real surprise given weather conditions, but here he goes again, revs one up, and he finds the ace. Well, on cue from Evandro. He set a world record yesterday in the quarter-final, beating his previous best of 30 in a tournament. He's up to 33 now with that ace, and a timely one too.
Evandro is starting to feel it. Like I said, it gets more difficult to get that spin serve in these wet conditions, but Evandro finds a way. Evandro playing in his 14th FIVB Tour Final Four, 4 gold medals to his name on the top of that podium, trying to make it 5 here in the World Championships. If he can get that serve going, it could mean trouble for the Netherlands.
What do the Dutch have to do here to try and get back in this?
Well, it's all about, first off, settling in on serve receive and trying to pass that initial serve so they can run their offense.
And for Brazil, it's a matter of trying to, I say a matter, it's easier said than done for the commentary box, a matter of siding out.
Yeah, they're in a perfect position right now, just 2 points away. They've done the damage, they've expanded this 4-point cushion. Now it's about settling down, going for it on the serve here. I bet Evandro tries to rip this, so you might see an ace or an error. Apply pressure.
And he does just that. Another ace from Evandro, and it is 5 set points. Well, he's come to the party right at the end of this first set, has Evandro with his serve. And now, surely, the Dutch are going to have to win sets 2 and 3 to advance. First of 5 set points. Well, the set is a long way from the net, and as a result, Evandro can read it. A chance to win it at the first time of asking, and he does. And Brazil take the opening set 21-15. 3 times they pulled away in that opening set. Twice the Dutch came back at them, but at the 3rd time it was just too much for the wild card Dutch pair, and Brazil comfortably taking that first set 21-15.
Here's a look at the final point. Evandro in the backcourt playing defense, and he's proven everyone wrong, saying that he's just a blocker, can't take care of the backcourt. Right there, he makes it look easy with a dig and the conversion for the put away. And you're absolutely right, Charlie. Maybe this could be the end of the road for the Netherlands, but I promise you, they are going to come out and put up a fight if Christian Varenhorst can start to turn it up.
Badly. It's supposed to be picture postcards, blue skies tomorrow as well, wouldn't you believe it? So, teams back out on the sand. Brazil, 21-15. There's only been one edition of the World Championships where Brazil haven't medalled. That was started back in 2007. They are the most successful nation at this tournament. Well, they're the most successful nation on the World Tour, full stop.
That ball just long. Varenhorst going for it right there. And ever since the kind of midway to the end of that first set, Brazil has had the upper hand. They've just been a little bit sharper. They're getting some of the broken plays, and they're starting to apply pressure to the newcomer, Van Garderen.
He responds well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Christian Varenhorst, his former partner, Reinder Numador, decided to retire. So Varenhorst went looking for a partner, and he and Van Garderen, former friends, obviously saw him playing indoor, and they decided to give it a go. Now the question is, does Van Garderen go back to playing indoor, or does he become a full-time beach player? He's going to have all sorts of options for sure. Nice poke shot right there, man. Garderen, I'm not sure why he delayed right there. Thought about it, and then when he decided to go, a little bit too late.
Real power. And Andre can't control it. Well, the Dutch haven't been in front in this match at any point. They could really do with a point on serve just to get their noses in front. Varenhorst, can't believe he didn't get that.
Christian Varenhorst with 2 blocks. He's going to have to increase that number. That's the strength of this Netherlands team. Varenhorst at the net blocking, and Van Garderen with some spectacular defense throughout the last 10 days. Taking a lot of teams by surprise. Both these teams with the same record coming in today. 1 loss in the tournament, but of course that didn't happen in the knockout rounds. Almost 2 tournaments, the pool play for the first 5 days, and then it becomes the knockout on this tour on the men's side is just unbelievable. This year in the quarterfinals, 8 different countries represented. That has never happened at a World Championships. And so it just goes to show you how volleyball has grown on the beach worldwide.
Quick reactions from the Dutch, but it's not enough to win the point. And ominously, Brazil gets some daylight for the first time.
There's Evandro up at the net. He's really dominating. Evandro's locked in right now. Not only at the net blocking, but defensively, he has really been impressive so far.
Nice work.
Overhand set. Something to watch right there. Varenhorst not afraid, putting up a beautiful set despite the moisture on the ball due to this downpour.
Andre goes short. Now, chance for Van Garderen. Oh, Evandro is there.
Evandro is completely taking over this match right now. On the end line, at the net, the Brazilian fans starting to feel it. And look how his timing, on point, perfect. He sees that it's going to be a shot. Look at the passion in the face of Evandro. He wants this thing really bad, you can tell, and so much pride carrying that Brazilian flag.
Well, he had the disappointment, didn't he, 2 years ago of losing at this point to a man on the other side of the net. And that always just gives you a little bit more impetus to try and put things right. And they are going through the gears again here, Brazil. And the Dutch call a timeout as they look to try and find the answer to this conundrum.
And a conundrum it is. Who do you go to? Andre Loyola Stein, Evandro, both playing on top of their game. The rain coming down. A lot of distractions out there and a lot of challenges. Despite the volleyball, the conditions are really testing the players.
The conditions are absolutely horrendous. No bones about it. It's absolutely tipping it down here. It is raining so hard.
Ik doe het mijn probleem. Ik zeg toch even switchen naar Evandro. Ja, goed.
So, the players return.
The rain continues to come down, and you always ask, could it get so bad that they stop it? In my day, playing, I played in even heavier rain than this. They will not stop unless lightning comes and puts the players and the fans in any type of a dangerous situation. But a little rain, Never hurt anybody. There, Van Garderen, what he's doing there, and that's an outside hitter move on the indoor game. You're going for the high hands. A lot of times in indoor volleyball, you have 3 blockers in your face, and the only way is to tool the block out of bounds. That time, smart move by Andre Loyola Stein. He drops his arms at the last minute, and Van Garderen sends that into the first 3 rows.
Well, there's an example of the rain that is falling. And Brazil have a very healthy lead right here. Yep. Finds the target, but they need a run desperately here now, the Dutch.
Yeah, it's not even a run that they need. You can just feel it out there. You can sense it. Brazil on top of their game. Netherlands need to get that confidence on their side and that attitude that they can turn it around and make it to the final here. Right now, Brazil just seems a little bit hungrier.
Cross court, Van Garderen is there now. Can he finish? Yes, he can.
Wow, did he light that up right there? Forget going high off the block or shooting the ball around. Van Garderen right there releasing his rocket of an arm cross court. Loyola Stein not ready for that one.
It's only the 5th time they've won a point on serve, the Netherlands. Garderen getting out of the way.
This ball ripped right to the corner. That ends up way in bounds. Van Garderen shakes his hand and says no, but that was definitely inside the back line. Van Garderen unleashing once again. He says, I have seen enough, and I'm gonna go for broke right here. He blasts that thing right off the head of Andre Loyola Stein. So a lot of power in the last couple of plays by Van Garderen. It's been a long tournament. You know, everybody's been targeting the newcomer, Van Garderen. And he has answered there, finally. Striking at the net is Christian Varenhorst.
I was going to say, just a couple of points ago, he needs to start getting involved in the game here, Varenhorst, and make things happen. Well, he's got the block, and they're back to a point. Can they level it up at 9-all? We go to Andre. And it's wide. They can level it up, and this is a good run of points.
Looked like Evandro was motioning to challenge, and he thought about it and then brought the signal down, so we play on.
Can he get on to the spike here, Varenhorst? No, he can't. Well, they've come back again. 3rd time. They've managed to level it up.
Interesting. We have just been notified there's been a power failure on the tower, therefore challenges not being allowed as Andre Loyola Stein throws that ball down. So an interesting situation.
And maybe that's why the first referee called the 2 captains together earlier on in the first set.
That is probably it. We were trying to figure that out. It makes perfect sense. So the rain not only affecting the players, affecting the rules a little bit. Not having the challenge system up could change the match.
Well, that has been the case on the outside courts anyway, where these both pairs have played, so it's a luxury here on the Red Bull Arena, but they don't have it. Oh, good work from Varenhorst, but Van Garderen can't block, and every time they get back level terms or near level terms, the Dutch, Brazil just pull away again. And at the technical timeout, it's the same scoreline from set 1, 12-9 Brazil.
the Netherlands had gotten back into it, and you know it, how they did it. They kind of changed that attitude. Van Garderen started ripping the ball, just going for broke, and it was the right move because it pulled them back to within one. And Brazil, as you say, as soon as they are tested, it seems like they take their game to another level and expand the lead and get that cushion back.
They're looking very relaxed, as you would expect, to set and 12-9 up. Now, can Van Garderen dig deep and just keep this fantastic story going? Of course, both sides will get a second game here on day 10, but it's whether or not you're playing for gold or playing for bronze. Win this match and you know you're getting a medal. Lose it and you come up in that match where nobody wants to lose. Finishing 4th at major tournaments, or any tournament really, is the place that nobody wants to be.
Yeah, well, you know, let's not fool ourselves. If you make it to the Final 4 and you finish in 4th, you've come up short.
And that is something you don't want to do.
No, you never want to do that. You want to at least win that bronze medal match and get yourself on that podium.
There you go, Varenhorst with another block.
Nice block over the net. His technique is so strong, and the fact that he's so big, look how far on the Brazilian side he presses over. When you're blocking, it's not about going necessarily so high. Once you get over the net, you want to press into the opposition's court to cut off their angles. Varenhorst with 4 stuff blocks. Can he do it again?
That is a good distance from the net, and it just makes it that much harder to get your hands on the ball.
Yeah, sometimes when the ball is set that far off the net, the blocker will retreat because the hitter doesn't have quite the angles that they would closer to the net. But Varenhorst, he knows his strength. He's going to stay up there if the ball's anywhere in the vicinity.
Good from Van Garderen going on the angle.
You got to give Van Garderen some credit. Wow, has he surprised everybody. I was so stunned I had to go and talk to him after his quarterfinal win to verify that this guy's just been playing beach volleyball for 3 months. He's played indoor volleyball, and he plays professionally. So he's got the experience there, but this time Van Garderen stuffed down, and it's Andre Loyola Stein, the 1-2 punch of the Brazilian blockers, trading off at the net, both having success.
Good work from Andre. And Van Garderen's got to go back to Italy to continue with his indoor next month. Poor touch from Varenhorst, and now they're in real trouble.
And this isn't a case where the Netherlands is necessarily playing poorly at all. It's just Brazil has elevated their game to another level. Evandro, 4 blocks himself. Loyola Stein has 2 for a total of 6. And then in the ace category, 3 already for Evandro. So scoring a lot of points with aces and blocks, and that's what we expected. There's another.
Another ace from Evandro makes it a 5-point game, and Brazil are 5 points away from a place in the gold medal match here at the 2017 Beach Volleyball World Championships. Evandro, well, had those 2 aces at the end of the first set, and he's been serving brilliantly since. Picture of concentration. Here he goes again. This time changing it up, going to Varenhorst. And Garderen reads the block. Now he's got to go cross court because it was a tight set, and he does just that.
You know, when you play a team and they're able to use their strengths against you, it is so hard to stop, and that's Brazil right now. They're blocking, and they're serving tough. If you can stop them from doing that, they have a difficulty scoring points, but right now the Netherlands playing into their hands, and it just hasn't been pretty on their side, where Brazil, everything going their way.
Up to 38 aces now. Evandro, he hasn't just beaten his record from The Hague, he's absolutely smashed it, hasn't he? Just needs one more for 30% more aces. That's an incredible increase.
And that's just to show how Evandro continues to get better every time he steps on the court. Such a great player, just 27, so you can imagine he's already been to the Olympics. He's got...
That's the girlfriend of Christian Varenhorst.
Little nerve-wracking watching from the side. Wish you could do more, but all you can do is watch. I always say it's a lot more difficult to watch than to actually be on the court competing, because you don't have that control.
Yeah, and also when you watch a partner or a friend, if they're playing their best and they lose, then you can accept it. But you'd have to say the Dutch haven't played their best. Okay, Brazil haven't allowed them to play their best, but still I think the Dutch would have expected a little bit more from themselves today.
I agree with you 100% as they shank that ball, and Brazil with the advantage, and they take full advantage as they have on every single opportunity. The Dutch have lost a little of the focus, even on that last serve. You know, not the toughest of serve, but it gets shanked backwards, and it's difficult to run your offense when you're reeling from the back court.
So, Andre Loyola to serve, goes to Van Garderen.
Too tight.
Yeah, too tight. And it's just completely gone for the Dutch, sadly, from their perspective. But Brazil on the threshold of the gold medal match, 8 match points. And
complete domination here in this second set for sure. Here, I understand the argument right there. Andre Loyola Stein went up the ladder, open hand, threw that ball. Looked like it was completely on the Netherlands side, but the ref didn't believe so. Wow, that is an open hand throw, but it's ruled a block where you can actually get away with that.
I'm not sure it's going to make a great deal of difference had it gone the way of the Netherlands anyhow. It would be just delaying the inevitable. Andre Loyola then first match points. They only needed 1 set point in the first set. Evandro was serving then, and Van Garderen extend this match he can. And now there are 7 match points coming on the Varenhorst serve if needed.
Yeah, and regardless of what happens here, what an incredible feat by this Netherlands team. The 45th seed, lowest seed ever to make it to a Final Four. They've had a spectacular run.
Varenhorst floated to Evandro, who goes up, cross court, off the block, it's in, and it's absolute delight for Brazil. They are into the gold medal match here in Vienna. There wasn't really any doubt about it throughout the match. They seemed in complete control.